Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Ryan.
This is Jake.
Hold on. Yokozuna Jake.
Oh,
Don't you dare correct me, Tsukebito Ryan.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Just watch yourself.
Sorry, I've been informed that I need to be the energy for this episode, so I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
it there quick. All right, everybody else. What's everybody else's name?
I'm Jake. I'm low energy because I'm sick as heck.
I'm Flyric.
I am Mac. I am back. I am tired.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mac has jet lag. I have something respiratory. Flyric, did you just get done with like frisbee or something for the evening?
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely, exercising stuff. And I'm half distracted with putting some finer points on some erotica stuff. So
Yeah.
So
and
Ryan, you're gonna have
I'm
to.
kind of here.
Tsukebito
Yeah.
Ryan, you're gonna have to carry us this
Say stuff.
episode.
Absolutely, Yokozuna Jake. And this is our Nagoya Basho recap episode. We're recording this at 9 o'clock at night on the Monday following this, and it's 3 hours from my typical bedtime, so I'm good to go.
Oh, jeez.
Before we dive into the results, we have a couple of new patrons to welcome into the family. Mac, why don't you introduce our first one?
Indeed, I can. To Dylan O'Halloran, aka Dio. He finally heard us. We were lost and so alone. We were asking for some guidance. Then he came down from his throne. With his support, I know we can make this sport feel rad. Oh, God, that was awful. Sorry, that's the best I could do, Dylan, but Tenacious D reference. Hopefully you enjoyed.
Absolutely appreciate the Tenacious D reference. Thank you, Mac.
Right over my head.
oh,
So
same.
You're not
That's great.
cultured. You're not
You're right.
cultured like Mac and I.
Oh, such a good movie.
So this Basho we had Go no Yama debut, Shonan Naomi debuted, Hakuoho debuted, but you know who's my favorite debut? Our new patron Adam.
Oh,
Absolutely,
hello.
absolutely fighting spirit prize worthy.
Oh,
More
for
than
sure.
the other three. Yeah.
You know what? You get a fighting spirit prize. Everybody gets a fighting spirit prize.
Yeah.
Everybody
Okay.
check under your seats right now.
And you get a fighting spirit prize, and you get a fighting
All
spirit
right,
prize.
we'll get to that. But yeah.
Yes. Other fighting spirit prize winners this Basho: Alex Hearn, Aetherist, Dave Rodriguez, Stephen Ward, Willie Yan, Rod Lunsford, TT Squish, Nikki Shans, Daniel Roberts, Jeffrey Armando, King Arthur, Benedict Bull, Mosho Gaeru, Chris Laufer, King of the Toads, Hunter Johns, Martha M, and Vegso. I happy cry just like Hoshoryu after winning a yusho whenever I think about you amazing people.
Oh, that's some deep tears. That's some
Yep.
well-earned deep tears.
Absolutely, and they earn every one of those tears. My wife has barely seen me cry, but when I think about these people, just waterworks, just so happy. Yokozuna Jake, could you provide us with an update on Amazumo?
If you use your manners, Tsukebito Ryan.
Please.
All right, I shall. So the big one that I'm happy to report is that we have our first regular Iowa Sumo Club practice under our belts.
Woo!
And nothing else under our belts. Just kidding. We share mawashis, so please wear shorts.
Yes.
Yeah, please do.
But no, we had a practice at the gym. It was a great time, me and Ryan, and shout out to Randy who drove out from Davenport. Yeah, it was an awesome time. We're gonna start making it regular. As far as other sumo coming up, we have the Raijin Sumo Training Camp in North Carolina coming up. Actually, just this weekend. So probably too late to go to that one if this is news to you. But this is a whole bunch of guys from our world team getting together. They're going to train all weekend. It's going to be a blast, and I'm excited to see some pictures and video pop up online. The weekend after, August 5th, will be the Harvest Days Sumo Open. I will be at that one. That is in Salt Lake City. And that one is going to be a big, it's a huge part of like the town festival of the summer. And the town is really into it. Midvale, Utah is going whole hog into sumo. It's going to be a blast. After that, August is pretty light otherwise, but then Labor Day weekend is the Consulates Cup. Keep an eye out for that. I'm going to that one. Mac, are you going to that one too?
Possibly. I'm
Possibly,
gonna
still a
try
maybe.
to.
Gotcha.
It's my PTO is shot right
Yep.
now.
But yeah, that's Labor Day. And then in October, we will definitely be doing plenty of coverage of it. But in October, we have the World Combat Games in Saudi Arabia and the World Championships, where our national champions will be traveling to Japan and to Saudi Arabia to face off against international competition. As always, go check out sumo411.com, where one of those national champions, Kellyanne, maintains probably the most complete amateur sumo calendar in the world. I certainly have not found anything that even remotely rivals her work there. So yeah, amateur sumo, lots going on. Hoping to get a couple episodes out coming up here, but yeah, between being sick and baby and just all over the place, yeah, we've been a little bit light on bonus episodes, but we're gonna try and get back into it here.
All right, thank you so much, Yokozuna Jake. Expertly done, as always. So let's move on into getting the results of the Nagoya Basho. And we had a heck of a yusho race that resulted in first-time yusho winner in a playoff, Sekiwake, soon to be Ozeki Hoshoryu, with a 12-3 record, his first career yusho. He defeated Maegashira 9 Hokuto Fuji in the playoff, who had a matching 12-3 record. Hokuto Fuji beat Hoshoryu in regulation, but could not do it again in the playoff. This is the second career Jun yusho for Hokuto Fuji and his best career record in a Basho. Same with Hoshoryu, the best career record for Hoshoryu. And our special prize winners, I hope you've set aside some time.
I need a drink for this one. Good
for a
Lord.
little while.
Take a deep breath, do it all in one go here, please.
The Gino Show Technique Prize went to Hakuoho. This is his first career technique prize and his first special prize overall. The Shuken Show Outstanding Performance Prize went to Nishikigi. This was his first career Shuken Show Outstanding Performance Prize and his first career special prize overall. The Kanto Show Fighting Spirit Prize went to Hoshoryu. His first career Fighting Spirit Prize, his third special prize overall. Koto Nawaka. Nope, can't do it. Koto Nawaka.
Got
That's
pretty
what I
far.
said. You were maintaining
Not
like
bad.
a 1.5 speed pace. I'm like, dang, this is actually working, right? Keep going.
Okay,
Nope,
so after
couldn't do it.
Hoshoryu.
Yes, Koto Nawaka. He won his fourth career Kanto Show Fighting Spirit Prize, his fourth special prize overall. Hokuto Fuji won his first career Fighting Spirit Prize, his third special prize overall. Gonoyama, Shonan no Umi, and Hakuoho all won Kanto Show Fighting Spirit Prize based on getting 10 wins in their Makuuchi debut. All of them, obviously, their first career special prize, except for Hakuoho, who also won the Technique Prize, so he is leaving with 2 special prizes this Basho. So that is a lot more special prizes than we usually talk about during this portion. That's because this Basho set some records as far as special prizes being awarded. The most individual Rikishi to receive a special prize this Basho, with 7 Rikishi receiving a special prize. The previous best was 5 individual Rikishi winning a special prize. That had happened 3 times previously. Haru of 1994, Natsu of 1998, and Hatsu of 2020. This was also the most special prizes awarded overall, with a total of 8. The previous high was 6, which happened 2 previous times in Hatsu of 1992 and Hatsu of 2020. And also the most fighting spirit prizes awarded, with 6, the previous high being only 3. And this had happened on 8 previous occasions. And then Hakuoho becomes the quickest Rikishi to win a special prize in their career, winning a special prize in just his 4th career Basho.
That's so cool. For the record, that Hatsu 2020 was Tokushoryu's win, where he got 2 special prizes. Kiribayama got 1, Shodai got 1, Hokuto Fuji got 1, Endo got 1. But yeah, obviously that the Tokushoryu one, that's why that one might be an outlier in a whole bunch of ways.
Yes. Almost wasn't as much of an outlier if Nishikigi would have been able to pull off the Yusho race, but unfortunately for Nishikigi and fans of the Eater of the Worlds across the planet, he was not able to pull it off and floundered in the final 4 days. I'm really, really, really upset that they did not make his special prize conditional. on winning the final day because I would have had an amazing comeback in the final day to not lose the prediction series if Nishikigi didn't hand me freaking -3 points from getting that special prize because I lost to Mac by 2 after being behind him by like 6 points on the final day.
My guys stalled out, and I was like, "Oh no, this isn't good." Wait, Ryan has Nishikigi. I'm okay.
Yeah, that would have made Hoshoryu the second most unlikely Yusho winner of all time if Nishikigi had held out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but let's dive into a little bit of why Nishikigi did not win the Yusho because the Yusho race was
as if we need to spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that now, but yeah, he had like how many bouts in a row did he win if you count last time?
14.
Jesus.
The final 8 and then the first 6. He had a
nuts.
14 match win streak.
Okay,
That's
I'm sorry. Go on
fantastic.
though.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, so when I was kind of looking over to see what the story of this Basho was, it really became clear to me that it was just total chaos in the final week because after days 8 and 9 were the last 2 consecutive days where the leaderboard was the same for consecutive days. After that, there was always somebody dropping from the leader group. So on day 9, we had Hoshoryu, Nishikigi, and Hokuto Fuji all tied with 8 and 1 records. And then on day 10, Hoshoryu dropped his second match, so we're left with just Nishikigi and Hokuto Fuji alone atop the leaderboard. Then on day 11, Hokuto Fuji loses his second match, and so it's just Nishikigi alone after day 11 on top of the leaderboard. It's looking like he is going to pull it off. Obviously, we already mentioned Hoshoryu won. He did not. On day 12, Nishikigi and Hokuto Fuji are back as the 2 leaders, as Nishikigi loses and Hoshoryu loses to Hokuto Fuji on that day to fall, once again, 1 more behind the leaders. Then on day 13, now it's just Hokuto Fuji alone atop the leaderboard. Maegashira 9, 31-year-old ass Hokuto Fuji leading after day 13. As Nishikigi lost to Hakuoho on that day to drop from the Yusho lead for the first time that Basho. Nishikigi had been atop the Yusho leaderboard from days 1 through 13, which is really impressive.
Not even a junior show for him.
And then
real Takayasu special there.
Yeah, absolutely. Then on day 14, this is when things really got spicy this Basho because we now have Hoshoryu, Hokuto Fuji, and Hakuoho in the leaderboard as Hakuoho rode a 5-match winning streak, defeating Nishikigi and Hokuto Fuji on days 13 and 14 to join Hoshoryu and Hokuto Fuji at the top of the leaderboard. And then after the dust settled on day 15, Hoshoryu stands alone. He defeated Hakuoho in regulation fairly easily and then won the rematch against Hokuto Fuji. Hokuto Fuji had fought Nishikigi earlier in the day, defeating him to guarantee that there would be a playoff versus the winner of the Hoshoryu Hakuoho match. And so Hokuto Fuji ended up losing that match to Hoshoryu, and we got Hoshoryu winning the Yusho with a lot of happy tears. It was a beautiful sight to see, really. Really, really fun to see the It's always fun to see the emotion get to these guys and how different reactions we get. Sometimes you get like the solitary tear from like Kiseno Sato or Taka Keisho. Hoshoryu was not doing nearly as good of a job as holding it all back.
Yeah.
Oh god!
And then you also have the Tokushoryus who
But
don't even try to hold it back.
He was
I'm
crying
used to
before he
seeing
hit the
so
ground.
much rage and angst from Hoshoryu, and then you just see happy joy tears that still looked angry for a little bit.
Oh yeah, like after he beat Hakuoho, like the intensity and the look on his face, like especially I feel like his wins like the final 3 or 4 days, he just had a very intense look on his face. He was very focused and dialed in. He wasn't gonna let himself drop another match because he knew it was on the line. The Yusho was on the line, and his Ozeki rank or promotion would be on the line because he lost his last match on day 12, so he knew he needed to win his final 3 to get the Ozeki promotion. Yep. So Hoshoryu becomes our Yusho winner. becoming the 10th Mongolian to win a yusho and the 7th to be promoted to Ozeki, the 2nd this year, obviously after Kirishima. He also becomes the 9th fastest Rikishi to win a yusho from their pro debut, not including Makushita or Sandanme Tsukedashi. So I think if you include those guys, he would drop down to like 15 or 16 on the list. But
guys who started at the very bottom, you're talking about.
Yes, he's the 9th fastest Rikishi to win a yusho in 33 Basho. So the 7 of the 8 Rikishi above him on that list all became Yokozuna. The sole exception at this point is Takakeisho, who I believe he won his first yusho 26 Basho after his debut when he was either 21 or 22 years old. And obviously Takakeisho's gone on to win 2 more yusho. So everybody above Hoshoryu on this list is either Yokozuna or has minimum 3 yusho.
And debatably could still become a Yokozuna. Right?
Absolutely. Dude's 26 years old. Just give him 2 healthy Basho in a row. There's no reason he couldn't become Yokozuna.
But anyways,
getting those 2 healthy Basho in a row is kind of questionable, though.
Just saying that it could very well soon become like all 8 of the guys above him.
Yes. And the Rikishi he lands right behind on that list is Hakuoho, who won his first Makuuchi yusho after 32 Basho. Now, I believe Hakuoho was 21 or 22 when he won his first yusho. I think he came in right when he was 15, maybe, and Hoshoryu, I think, started when he was 18. So a little bit of an age difference there, but still pretty cool. And it really kind of points to this isn't it for Hoshoryu. This is very much the first of hopefully many yusho to come for this guy, and hopefully he's not at his career high rank at this point.
Right. Historically, people who do this well this early in their career, that is a powerful indicator of future Yokozuna-ness.
Yes. And we'll kind of see...
Yokozuna-ness.
Yeah,
indeed.
Great scale.
Something I know a lot about as the Yokozuna this Basho.
Yes.
Well played. Well played.
But it'll be interesting to see what does happen with Hoshoryu, because he kind of lands at a dividing point on that line for quickest Rikishi to win a yusho from their pro debut. Once again, excluding Makushita and Sandanme Tsukedashi's, because Hakuoho is going to win his first yusho probably next time or something and blow all this out of the water.
Yeah.
But everybody above him is either Yokozuna or Takakeisho, who book has yet to be written on him. And then the next couple of people directly below him peaked at Ozeki. So it'll kind of be interesting to see which side of that line eventually Hoshoryu lands on. So Jake, after Yokozuna, Jake, my sincerest, deepest, and humblest apologies. What are your expectations for Hoshoryu now that he has won a yusho and made it to Ozeki? Like, where do you see him going? Do you see him joining those 8 Rikishi above him?
Probably. I think so. I think age and unlike Takakeisho, he is maintaining health a lot better. I
Much
think
longer arms.
Yes, very helpful when you're trying to stay healthy. Keep people further away from you. No, I think that it's probably not a very hot take to say that this was like one of the last things, one of the last things that I wanted to see before jumping on that train 100%. Like 12-3 isn't the most strong yusho that you can get. And granted, he didn't have Kirishima at 100%, didn't have Terano Fuji, Takakeisho.
Yep.
Right. So like, I mean, I might have wanted to see better of him when he has that kind of an opportunity in front of him. But yeah, I think that at this point he's probably crossed, in my opinion, the 50% line that yes, I think he will more than likely become a Yokozuna now. He's still young enough. He's always been improving. He's making fewer and fewer of those dumb mistakes, where he would go for trips and get like too into that and then get pushed out or something like that,
Maybe he's getting a style. I remember reading somewhere where they were talking about the Sekiwake and they said like Hoshoryu, he has no style. I have no idea what that guy's gonna do. Like maybe he tries to do too much or something like that.
Huh.
But it's also a thing to say is like he's unpredictable. He has a lot of like strengths, like he can do many different things. One
Yeah,
thing I kind of noticed about Hoshoryu this one is he had a lot more like push outs. He was doing a lot more Oshi Sumo. Like let me pull this up. Hoshoryu stuff. We have 1 Oshidashi, 2, 3, 4, 5. And maybe some other ones where I'm not entirely sure if they're
Oh.
actually push outs.
Well, two
But-
of those Oshidashis were losses. But
Oh, okay. That's actually a very good point on that one. They got to yeah, but it's still I felt like he was doing a lot more of that than in the past. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting to kind of see his style evolve a little bit, especially after spending like a vacation with Asashoryu, and he probably gave him some tips like firsthand.
I think I don't know. I kind of disagree with Hoshoryu not having style. I feel like we know his style. He wants to get on your belt. He wants to throw you down. He wants to try to trip you if that comes into play. I think that's his go-to style. That's what he wants. But sometimes and he's able to beat you in a bunch of different ways from those situations. Like we look at this. One of the things we always talked about with him is like he wins with like 7, 8, 9 different Kimarite in Basho, and this one's no exception. This one we have Oshitaoshi, Yorikiri, Okiri, Hikiotoshi, Sotogake, Uwatenage, Hitaki Komi, Kakenage, Kotenage. And so that's like 7 or 8 right there. He didn't use anything more than 2 times this Basho, which might lend people to say that he doesn't have a style, but I feel like he does. He wants to get to your belt and then take advantage of it in whatever way he can find.
I wonder if it's either a translation thing or if it's something that like we might say a lot of the same things about somebody like Tobizaru, but we would probably consider Tobizaru more of like a chaotic wild man rather than Hoshoryu, who's just
His namesake is the flying monkey. You don't know what the hell that guy's gonna do.
But like Tobizaru is more of like more of like the wild card, whereas Hoshoryu, I think he just knows a lot of different moves and like tries to do a whole bunch of different things. So maybe when they say that he doesn't have a style, they mean more like he doesn't have one thing that he's the best at or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
That's 100% what it was like with the translation.
yeah?
I'm sorry if I didn't explain that too well. I looked it up. It was apparently from Tochinoshin. He said this during his retirement interview. Let me say like the question was, what do you have to say of Hoshoryu, Daisho, and Wakamoto Haru? So all three are really strong. All three are really strong. Daisho and Wakamoto Haru have their own style. Hoshoryu, on the other hand, doesn't have a style. But he excels on throws and the interest from people keeping people guessing. And so I think it's like he tries to be a little bit more unguessable, and he doesn't really try to say like I'm gonna just really excel at this one thing is kind of thing.
Sure.
And I don't necessarily want to like say like this is like probably who Hoshoryu is entirely, but at that point in time, like maybe a little bit. But it's it's kind of very interesting to kind of just see him like just continue with this unpredictableness and like try to, like you were saying, Ryan, like a bunch of different Kimarite like he was trying to do, rather than just like Yorikiri like force out the entire time. It's it's very interesting to see.
I wonder if there's an element too of like it's more honorable, more pure sumo to like have a specific thing that you do, whereas like Westerner style of thinking, like we want to use game theory. You don't want to be predictable, like that's where like we would come from, where maybe if I could wrestle any way I wanted, I would like to wrestle like Hoshoryu, where I have a bunch of different weapons, right? But maybe that's less pure sumo or something like that. Maybe that's something that he should be.
I don't necessarily think it was like a critical thing about it. I think it was just kind of him showing it.
Oh, I see.
And
okay.
yeah, I personally just also think like I feel like there's a lot of like really successful people. Like normally what they do is they get good at really one thing, and everyone's gonna know what you do, but you can't stop it at all. So I feel like this is kind of,
for example.
yeah. I feel like this is kind of the harder way to go, is to be unpredictable, and it's probably a lot more variance. I think that's kind of why people try not to go about this style. So I'll be curious to kind of how it evolves at the time. But yeah, there was definitely like he likes to throw. I saw he was doing more pushing now, which I thought was kind of interesting. That reminds me of Hakuoho, who was kind of like, he was gone to belt, but he can also have a solid pushing game at the same time. So I saw this as kind of evolving of his sumo to kind of also improve his pushing and belt game at the same time.
So Flyric, we're seeing this evolution from Hoshoryu. You talking about his belt game, his pushing game. But do you think over the next 2 years, we've got 2 newly minted Ozeki, one unfortunately Kadoban due to injury, and Kirishima. But I think we all assume get healthy, he'll take care of that next Basho. So which of these 2 new Ozeki that we've gotten this year do you think will be more successful over the next couple of years?
It's way too close to call. I don't think I can say one way or the other. Maybe I'll give the edge to Kirishima, simply because he has the age and he just might be kind of, have a little bit more experience under his belt. Hoshoryu definitely like stepped up this Basho, but like this was definitely a step up. This was kind of a level we have not seen from him before. So I'm kind of wondering if we can kind of see that again. And so, but other than that, it's just way too close. I'll be curious to kind of see how this is going to evolve in the next over years. Hopefully, it's just kind of a great rivalry, like back and forth the entire time, and they
some good
both are
matches.
equally successful. That would be
Absolutely, yeah.
fantastic.
Mac, I wanna check in with you a little bit. I wanna know how much of this Basho were you able to watch? We're gonna kind of divert away from what
Start
happened
with
in this
that, yeah.
Basho.
Well, I
Kinda
was
curious
able
what,
to-
what your experience was with keeping up with this Basho, since
It
you were
was,
traipsing around Japan.
It was a little hectic, I will have to say. Did watch one full day when we were actually at the Nagoya Basho, made some new friends. Shout out to Anne, Joe, and Mark. Great to meet you guys. Fantastic people to interact with for Sumo. But otherwise, I was just keeping track with the app primarily. So just seeing the results, rewatching a few things on YouTube. But my involvement with this one was pretty sporadic. But from what I did see, I liked this Basho.
What day were you at Sumo?
That was Wednesday, day 11, I think. I'm trying to remember.
8, 9,
July
Yeah, I
19th.
think you were. Yeah, I think you
11
were
sounds
saying
good.
Day
Yeah.
11 was when you were
Yep,
going.
day 11.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Don't refresh anything. Sumo DB is down.
No.
Oh no.
God, it's bastards. Okay.
All
Pull
hands
this
on
up on
deck.
the app here.
All right.
Anywho,
Let's move on. We've been having a lot of Ozeki run talk to start this year, and that's turned into 2 successful Ozeki runs with Kirishima and now Hoshoryu. Let's check in kind of where our other Ozeki runs are lying. Like, as we said, Hoshoryu, he's gotten his 33 wins over the past 3 Basho, a 10 followed by 11 followed by a 12. They've called the special meeting to discuss his promotion. That's a rubber stamp. He's going to be promoted. There's no chance that he's not. So Hoshoryu did it. Now we've got Daisho, who entering this Basho had 12 wins and 10 wins. He followed it up this time with only 9 wins for 31 wins over 3 Basho, and likely could be a hard reset on his Ozeki run unless he goes like 14-1 or 13-2 possibly next Basho. But that would only end him up because he's sitting at 19 right now, so he would need 14 to hit that 33 over 3. So it could be tough for Daisho. Might just need to be next time get double digits, and that'll be the first of your Ozeki run again. And it's pretty much the same story with Wakamoto Haru, who ended up with 30 wins over the past 3 Basho, 11, then 10, then 9. So he likely has pressed a hard reset on his Ozeki run. But those aren't the only Ozeki runs that we might need to be paying attention to, as Koto no Waka from the Komosubi rank, he got 11 wins this Basho. He's now also sitting at 19 wins over the past 2 Basho, but he's got the benefit of upward trajectory, which matters. The other 2 guys trending downward, Koto no Waka trending up, but he's got 8 and 11. So likely, if this turns into an Ozeki run, this is likely the first Basho of an Ozeki run. But we have seen 8, 11, 13 make a promotion to Ozeki. So Koto no Waka could be our closest to the Ozeki rank at this point. So Mac, should we be taking Koto no Waka seriously now as a potential Ozeki by the end of the year?
I think by the end of the year, definitely. He's going to be one to watch. I looked at a couple of his last matches. So he did lose against Kirishima, Wakamoto Haru, Tobizaru, and then an odd one with Meisei. But the thing with Meisei is he's another one of those guys that it's straightforward, and then he can pull a move on you. So not a terrible loss with Meisei, and Meisei is another kind of big favorite, but his other wins looked solid, and he beat Hoshoryu.
Beat Hoshoryu,
current
yep.
nominees. I'm like, all right, and beat Destroyer of Worlds Nishikigi. So I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, you know what? I think this guy's going to be one to watch, and he's got the size, he's got the talent, he's just working on that experience, and definitely think by the end of the year he's going to be a contender.
Yeah, Koto Nowaka is a guy who's had a steady climb up over the past couple of years. I don't think he's had a losing record. Sumo DB's down, so I can't confirm this, but I don't think he's had a losing record since 2022 when he got injured.
I can confirm July 2022.
And well, no, July 2022. That I think it's a 7 and 8 technically. He was pulled due to COVID when he started 7-3. So I don't count that.
Okay, if you don't count that one, then we have to go way back into the yonder years of November 21.
Okay. So yeah, it's been a couple of years for Koto Nowaka. Trajectory straight up. He's been Komusubi for the past 3 Basho, getting by with 8 or 9. Got the 11 this time. Be really interested to see how he does next Basho, especially if Teruno Fuji's back, Taka Keisho's back, Kirishima's back at full health. So Koto Nowaka is one that we've kind of had our eye on for a while, waiting for him to take that step up. Looks like he took that step this Basho. Now we'll see if he can keep it moving forward. Yokozuna Jake or Maegashira Flyric, either of you guys have any thoughts on Koto Nowaka?
Not really, other than that the Breakfast in a Basho guys that watch live. I think I mentioned this on the Midway. They refer to him as pancakes.
Yes.
Pancakes.
Which is just the best. And yeah, I never, Koto Nowaka, like, he's kind of in a spot for me where Daisho used to be, where he was just one of the guys. Like, yeah, I know that he's young, but he like doesn't really stand out too much to me. But yeah, maybe this Basho, it's time for me to get over it and get on that hype train as well.
Yeah, get over it.
Yeah. But he
Koto Nowaka was never in like Daisho. Who is that territory for me?
No.
Yeah.
He's also too new to have like, gotten that niche for me. Regardless, he's super young. He just it's honestly it kind of feels like it's just coincidence that he wasn't lumped in with Kirishima, Hoshoryu, Daisho, Wakamoto Haru these last couple Basho, where we were looking at those guys as like the group of prospects.
I mean, he didn't have the wins to be lumped in.
No,
yeah, I guess, but like, I mean, he certainly does now. If you look at this last Basho, so
yeah,
I think Mr. Bansuke, even though we're losing a Sekiwake going up, is Koto Nowaka. Is that
we're still gonna have 3 Koto Nowaka?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Sekiwake, yep.
So yeah, Hoshoryu brings it back down to 2, but Koto Nowaka, that's good enough to force the 3rd Sekiwake slot.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Good to know. No, I think he should be in that group now, and yeah, it's just my own fault. I haven't been paying more attention to him, I think.
Yep. So
it's similar thoughts to me. I think I was almost hyped for him for a second, but then he was just kind of I think he just had like a string of like 8 and 7s or so, and I was kind of he's kind of meh.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
For a minute.
Yeah, I unfortunately think he's probably like you were saying, kind of joined the group. We'll see with Daisho and Wakamoto Haru. I unfortunately think they might kind of fall back into the soup a little bit of the joy. We'll find out. And we'll see which ones kind of jump up again. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, I'm keeping them kind of, I have side eye same tier as Wakamoto Haru and Daisho at the moment. Like maybe good enough to be Ozeki, but we'll have to kind of wait and see.
I mean, let's compare Hoshoryu to Koto Nowaka, because I think besides physically, these guys are very similar. Hoshoryu's 24, Koto Nowaka's 25. Hoshoryu is the nephew of Asashoryu. Koto Nowaka is either the son or the grandson of Koto Zakura. He comes from sumo lineage, successful sumo lineage as well. So Hoshoryu, when he finally it didn't take him too long to get to the Sanyaku ranks, about a year and a half. His first 4 Basho in Sanyaku were 8-7, 8-7, 9-6, 8-7. Then he broke through in November of last year with an 11-4. So that was Hoshoryu. And then since that 11-4, Hoshoryu went 8-7. That was when he injured his ankle. And then 10-5, 11-4, 12-3. Koto Nowaka, he enters Sanyaku. His first 3, 8-7, 9-6, 8-7. Now he's got 11-4. He's going up to Sekiwake. So maybe we're seeing a similar trajectory with Koto no Wake here that we're seeing with Hoshoryu. Got up to the Sanyaku, got his feet wet a little bit, wasn't dominating or anything, but he was keeping his head above water. And then something clicked, was able to kind of string more wins together, and hopefully that switch will stay flipped for him and we'll see him rise even further. But I'm excited for Koto no Wake. I think he's a very serious Ozeki, potential Ozeki contender by the end of this year, beginning of next year. But if Hoshoryu was the story of this Basho, the second biggest story of this Basho, I imagine, has to be Hakuoho, the Miyagi-No prodigy, the monster of Reiwa, is his official nickname. So Flyric,
Official
Monster of
legally?
Reiwa.
The monster.
Yes,
of
the Reiwa
that's what
energy.
he has been dumped. So apparently, back in, I think, late 90s, early 2000s, was a Rikishi named Muso no Yama. And he was dubbed the monster of the Heisei era, or whatever the previous era was.
I think that's right.
I don't remember. But he was dubbed monster of Heisei because he had a very good start. At least this would have been told secondhand.
Sure.
He had a very good start, and that's what they dubbed him. And so now people have dubbed, and it's a very popular nickname for Hakuoho, I have found, after trying to crowdsource a new nickname for him on Twitter. Had many people saying, like, you don't need to. He's the monster of the Reiwa era.
Fair enough.
So Hakuoho, the monster of the Reiwa era. Flyric, after just
fine.
one Basho in Makuuchi, are you ready to anoint him the next big thing?
That nickname is funny because I like to read a lot of manga at time, and there's Reiwa energy kind of means something different.
Oh.
Romance. It's kind of means like the romances actually start doing something, and they actually kind of see what they feel, which is kind of funny. So I don't know. He might just kind of start talking his feelings, and like maybe start dating a bunch of rikshis or something, and just kind of really get out there, and like have hold hands and do scandalous stuff like that. Oh wait, we're talking about about sumo, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. My mind's in a weird place right now.
Apparently.
All that erotica and stuff. Anyways,
Lord.
I will definitely say I was super impressed. I was kind of ready to pump the brakes on the train going into this Basho. I think I was probably the most skeptic of all three of us. But he he did well, which I thought he was. But when he actually got up his matches against the Joy, he actually started delivering it, and he won a bunch of his matches. And I think it was pretty it looked pretty one-sided with his against Hoshoryu, but Hoshoryu's proved himself to be no Ozeki.
Yeah.
So but I think he's looking really good. There was one day where I kind of felt worried about his shoulder injury he got in high school, I believe. I think he looked like
that was against
maybe
Abi when he nailed the Tawara, I think.
Yeah. It's so maybe he might be injury prone. That's kind of the one big thing I wonder about that. But he's obviously he's like a Joy contender. Probably
He's got all the other
Sanyaku.
pieces.
Yeah. And he looks solid. Just really really solid Oshi sumo with some I think some weird belt stuff at the same time too.
Yeah.
I wish I can confirm that, but it's he looked pretty good. Next big thing, probably, as long as he can keep that shoulder healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll anoint him the monster of the Reiwa era, and hold hands with many different sumo people.
Yeah, and add a subtle little tee to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna go through and see some of the other nicknames that people proposed besides Monster of the Reiwa era. We had Hakuho 2, the Terror of Totari. Let's see, the Rhinoceros, Lightning McQueen, Young Raiden, the Bulldozer.
Oh, Young Raiden.
I like the unit for him.
Nice.
Unit.
Scare Bear.
Ooh.
Haku Oh No. H Train, the Wrecking Ball. Yeah, there was quite a few. Somebody said Billy.
Billy?
I love the unit.
Yeah.
That is some A+ nicknaming. Can we give that one to Gono Yama just because he's
No.
in the same?
No.
He is
No.
Too
fierce.
much rage.
A fierce
He is
unit.
I don't know. I feel like that nickname can't be wasted here.
That pile of garbage, Gono Yama.
Oh my god, I had so much fun watching Gono Yama.
I did too. Oh, it was so fun to watch, and it's so insane, like how much he reminds me of Goeido. Like it's just like, but I bet Goeido was like exactly as feisty when he was a lot younger before he started falling off.
He was like, this guy looks pretty similar to me. I'm gonna recruit him.
Yeah.
Can we ironically call Midori Fuji the unit?
He
No.
is small enough that could be ironic. Yeah.
It could be, but no, that's not fun.
I think we should call him Wee Man, like the guy from Jackass.
I could go with Wee Man.
Well, we'll get together. We'll figure out who to dub the unit. If we want to go with Gono Yama, I will begrudgingly allow it.
Ryan is just going to be angry about anything Gono Yama related, so we'll
Also,
have to just put up with that.
I'm contractually obligated to hate Gono Yama. So.
You're affiliated with Goeido, therefore.
My actual feelings may differ, but my podcast personality hates Gono Yama.
There you go.
My actual personality still actually hates Goeido. My podcast personality
Okay.
is the only one that hates Gono
After
Yama.
I was
all
gonna
these
take
years,
that.
The rage is real.
As the opposite, like your podcast personality, like you just, yeah, but you secretly love Gonoyama. Maybe you secretly love Goeido. Who knows?
Nope,
It's really ambiguous.
Shutting that down immediately.
Mm.
So with Hakuoho, something we were tracking coming into this, does he have the most wins through X number of Basho since Rikshi's debut? And we're just tracking this since the modern era, 1958, because things get weird before that and things weren't consistent. So yes, he has the most wins through the first 4 Basho since 1958 and maybe ever. With 42 wins over his first 4 Basho. He has 2 more than second place did, which was Takeuchi, who debuted in 1998. He had 40 through his first 4. And so those are the only 2 Rikishi to average 10 wins over their first 4 Basho. So looking forward to Basho number 5 for Hakuoho, what he needs to do to maintain having the most wins through X number of Basho in your career. He needs 7 wins. He just needs a scant Make Koshi to tie the mark for most wins over Rikishi's first 5 Basho, and just 8-7 Kachikoshi will surpass the record, and that record holders there are for Takeuchi and Ichi Nojo are combined for both having 49 wins through their first 5 Basho in their career. So we've talked about quite a few Rikishi so far, and the YDC has also talked about some of these Rikishi, the Yokozuna Deliberation Council. And I've got to say, I like this new YDC. I think they've got a new chairman, and they seem to be a lot more positive than some of the previous YDC comments than we've gotten in the past. So talking about Hoshoryu, they highly praised him. Obviously, he just got an Ozeki promotion and won the yusho. They said, once again, he has shown how he can make the most of a chance he is given. He cleared a path to the rank of Yokozuna with his bare hands. So they must be seeing some Yokozuna potential with Hoshoryu as well.
As far as quote.
Yeah. As far as Teruno Fuji, who had to pull out after day 3 early this Basho, apparently Chairman Hakaku informed the YDC that Teruno Fuji is recovering well. So it doesn't sound like, at least from that comment, doesn't sound to me like Teruno Fuji plans on going Intai before the next Basho. Sounds like he's going to try to recover and see if he can get back out there. And I have to assume he's looking for 2 more yusho to get to 10, get Dai Yokozuna status. But the YDC said on Teruno Fuji, having occasional setbacks is a complex problem, but we know the only reason he is overexerting himself is his sense of responsibility. So that they're not like being super positive, just saying it's a complex problem, and they're saying it's a problem. So I'm wondering if they are maybe starting to lose a little patience with Teruno Fuji. We'll kind of see if this keeps going, what they say after another couple of Basho about him. Regarding Hakuoho, who the YDC really doesn't need to talk about at all because he's not anywhere close to being promoted to Yokozuna.
Hey guys, what do you think about this one teenager who's got 1 Basho under his belt?
Well, we look forward to seeing him climb up with hopes he may become Yokozuna.
That's nuts.
So everybody's drinking the Hakuoho Kool-Aid.
Yes. Yeah.
And then as far as Takakeisho, who had to miss the entire Basho, they said, we want to see him overcome his injury and show his energetic form again. So that is the comments we got from the Yokozuna Deliberation Council this time. Nothing really to criticize from them, I don't think. YDC West agrees. We'll just sign on to all of their statements for this Basho.
Sounds good. We'll send the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kirishima, he went Kyujo on day 1. He was afraid of Nishikigi. That is well documented. He had no real injury. But it did throw him off for the rest of the Basho, got him out of rhythm. And when he returned on day 4, he was unable to get the requisite 8 wins to avoid being a Kadoban Ozeki in the next Basho, finishing with a final record with absences in there, 6 and 9. So Jake, after seeing Kirishima's performance this Basho, I mean, numerically he had a chance to get to those 8 wins, but he wasn't able to do it once he started going up against Rikishi like Hoshoryu, Asanoyama. He wasn't able to get those wins. Are you concerned with Kirishima leaving this Basho?
Not really. I mean, I think that it's a tradition. I think that first time Ozekis often have a rough go. Not because the competition's any different, but because they have a lot more shit they got to do. So like between the Basho, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head all the stuff that they do, but there is like ceremonies and extra stuff and like press tours and stuff where they're not training the way they normally are. So I'm still kind of impressed he managed to get 6.
Yeah.
So like I certainly am not. I would need to see a second Basho of struggling before I was really all that worried. And like I said on the midway, 7 wins is exactly as good as 0 for him. So I would have preferred if he did actually have an injury, other than to his pride and from the terror of facing Nishikigi.
Mm-hmm.
If there was an injury, I don't know, maybe he should have sat out a little bit extra. But I get why he didn't, but I would have liked to see that just a little extra healing time, since 7 wins or 0 wins, exactly the same situation.
Yeah. The one thing, knowing that he had like a rib injury and just knowing how much twisting goes with like his style of sumo with grabbing, you just have to really kind of twist the torso. So I just know how much that injury probably affects his style. And the fact that he still got like 6 is, I'm with Jake. I'm impressed he got 6. And I'm guessing it was probably a very minor bruise. So he'll probably hopefully be good coming into it. And and hopefully have enough training without as many commitments going into it as well.
Sure.
Yeah, even with that injury, he was able to beat Koto no Waka, Daisho, Wakamoto Haru, 3 Sanyaku Rikishi that all had 9 or more wins this Basho. So he was still able to get those quality wins in there. But yeah, he didn't quite look up to the level that we saw him at the start of this year on his Ozeki run, obviously. So just some quick hits on some other Rikishi. Asanoyama, he had to pull out of the Basho, I believe, on day 9 after he lost to Hoshoryu. He had a bicep injury. He pulled out on day 8. And then he returned on day 12, entering with an effective 4-7 record, and then won his final 4 matches with that injured bicep to get a Kachi Koshi. So I questioned the decision to come back with that kind of injury, but obviously paid off for him, and he's not going to be dropping down the rankings at all. He was also able to take out Kirishima and Wakamoto Haru on the way to getting those final 4 wins, and he looked pretty good in those final 4 days. So Asanoyama still rising up the ranks here. Shodai and Mitakeyumi, 2 of our former Ozeki, both of them were ranked Maegashira 2. Neither one can get more than 6 wins. Mitakeyumi getting 3 wins. Really just all out of sorts for Mitakeyumi. So the precipitous drop continues for Mitakeyumi here. Down at the bottom of the Banzuke, Aoyama and Takara Fuji, a lot of people these guys are dropping down. They're gonna end up down in Juryo. I wonder if we're gonna see them retire. Both of them said, not so fast, young man. Both of them got
Still.
9 and 6 records for Maegashira 15 and 17, respectively. Aoyama especially so. He started 2 and 6, and then he went Nishikigi mode and won his final 7 matches. So we'll have to pay attention to Aoyama next Basho, see if he starts on a crazy winning streak as well.
Yeah, and the slightly less old guys that were also down at the bottom, Ryuden and Endo, same thing.
Yeah.
They were just like, you know what? I guess I'll do double digits this time.
Yeah.
Endo looked hot, and you could see like they were saying like, okay, who's a trusty person we can put against these Rikshi who are like on the Yusho race to see if they actually win.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like Endo,
Yeah.
I was surprised he was down a step. Like he stood no chance against those kind of upper Bansuke Rikshi.
Yep.
So it's
On days 11 through 13, Endo was matched up against Nishikigi, Kotonowaka, and Hokuto Fuji, and he lost all 3 of those matches to all double-digit winning Rikshi there.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Just shows that he and Ryuden, I'm just kind of lumping them together because they're both roughly the same age. They're veterans, but they're definitely both ranked lower than their talent or skill, I guess I should say. As long as they're healthy, they are still mid to upper Bansuke kind of guys.
You say they're roughly the same age. They were born within 22 days of each other.
Yeah, roughly.
Wow.
Endo, October 19th, 1990, and Ryuden, November 10th, 1990.
Oh God, they're
Wow.
both they're getting older and they're both younger than me.
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't feel good.
No.
And another note from someone further down the Bansuke, Chiyo Shoma, 6 and 9 record, 0 Henka attempts for Chiyo Shoma this Basho. Maybe that's showing in his 6 and 9 record. Maybe he needed to bust out at least 2 Henka there.
His knees can't take it anymore.
Is that cheesy for him to not do that? Is that gimmicky? Was he doing a gimmicky style by not doing Henkas?
You know what? That might be.
He's being unpredictable like Hoshoryu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially getting down to like days 12, 13, 14, 15. His opponent's got to think he's got to be busting
gotta
out
do
sometime
Henka.
soon. It's got to
Yeah.
it's got to be coming. And so they just stand there
Waiting.
completely still at the Tachi expecting the Henka, but no, Chiyo Shoma just bowls them
Just
over.
not gonna do it.
We haven't had nearly enough divergence this episode. So that Henka against who was it? Hoshoryu? It wasn't Chiyo Shoma, but someone else.
Waka
Of where he
Motoharu.
just-
Wakamoto
Yeah.
Haru.
He just completely read it. Oh, that was such a good match.
Don't try to Henka Hoshoryu. Like he catches it more often than not. I think
You
did
shouldn't
Abi
Henka the guys
try?
that are that agile.
No.
I don't remember if Abi tried to sidestep him this time. I know Tobizaru has a history of Henka-ing Hoshoryu. I remember last Basho it was successful. The Basho or 2 previous to that, another beautiful shutdown by Hoshoryu. So yeah, let's stop trying to Henka Hoshoryu. He's too fast for that.
Yeah.
He's probably our fastest guy in the top division right now, like off the Tachi. I can't think of anybody faster than Hoshoryu right now.
He definitely has good reactions, and he at least keeps part of his eye on his opponent during the Tachi eye, which is great.
Anybody else have anybody they wanted to note that we haven't given enough attention to?
Hokuseiho, obviously a big step back. He went 5 and 10, but definitely the hardest competition he's gone against so far. I think he kind of hit a wall where his just I'm bigger than you and you can't push me over and I can wait until you get tired and find my opening. That style clearly has a ceiling. I think he's going to have to diversify if he wants to stay in this area of the Bansuke.
He did diversify. In the second week, he stopped going for the over the back reach and he exclusively went for like the one arm inside at the front reach, and then he just lost all of his matches. So I don't know if he was like Hokuseiho's so interesting.
I freaking love it. I remember like when we first saw him, like our joke was like, man, if this guy learns how to do sumo, he's going to be unstoppable.
Yes.
And I think that's
stands.
still the case.
Yeah. One other note on the Breakfast in a Basho stream, guys. They hate Hokuseiho. Burning passion. Like,
Love it.
I don't know. I don't get it. They all just say like he's so boring. All he does is he's tall and he leans. Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
But he's getting wins.
but he's getting. Yeah, to me, I think my take on it is that I think I find all outliers interesting, and he's definitely a novelty, and that's kind of fun to analyze.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm assuming that under Hakuoho, he's probably gonna evolve his sumo over time. If he stays like this for years to come, I think I probably would be disappointed. So, but I guess I'm kind of imagining the changes that are gonna kind of happen.
Yeah,
And
but when you like,
I can't wait to see the progress.
exactly, when you live in a house and are trained daily by the best ever, you're gonna get better, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be fun to see.
I feel
he
like he's doing
gets
that thing.
Hakuoho to train against
Yeah,
every day too.
I feel like he's doing that thing where Hakuoho is just kind of like, see, I told you to do this, right? That's not working for you. Are you gonna listen to me now? It's like,
kid.
you're right, Oyakata.
Last quick note I have on Hokuseiho: widest chonmage. I don't understand. He looks like him versus Asanoyama. I want to see their haircuts side by side, because Asanoyama almost looks like it's just like the regular top knot, not even like the spread out version. And Hokuseiho's head looks like a spaceship. It's so wide. I don't know. I just couldn't unsee it once I noticed those two guys, their haircuts.
Last thing I have on Hokuseiho, that when he got thrown by Midori Fuji with that thigh throw, oh my goodness.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely
That was beautiful to see.
Yeah.
And real quick, I did want to touch on Gonoyama and Shonan Naomi. Obviously overshadowed by Hakuoho, but damn, both those guys are legit as well.
Yeah.
Shonan Naomi is definitely like the less flashy version. Like Gonoyama is all like fierce pushing and Hakuoho is just monster grappling. Shonan Naomi is just kind of like a meat and potatoes, but really good grappler, you know?
Mhm.
Like I feel like he does everything pretty good. He's just less flashy. Like maybe like a Mitakiyumi would be a good comparison there. I don't know, but I'm excited to see all three of them lumped in with all these other new prospects. It's just a super cool new generation coming up that we're seeing.
Yeah. Couple others want to talk about. We haven't talked nearly enough actually about Hokuto Fuji, who did end up being the runner-up.
Oh yeah.
You were gonna bring him up.
Fair
I
enough.
was.
Who Ryan, who were you rooting for in that playoff?
That's what I wanted to know.
I was ready for Hoshoryu.
Yeah, you were.
The time is over.
Had to ask.
I was rooting for Hoshoryu versus Hakuoho as well. Hoshoryu, since he's come in, I love his intensity when he's in the ring, and then especially after he won and just like you saw the tears, like you really saw like the softer side of him as well. So I kind of like that intensity in the ring, but you can tell he's a good guy outside the ring. And then I just really like his style of sumo. I like the pedigree. No, Hoshoryu is probably my top guy right now.
That stare down he had right before like his matches, I was like, wow, this is he's like evolving before our eyes.
Yeah, I don't think Hoshoryu been teaching him anything about sumo wrestling. I think he's exclusively taught him how to do the stare down. Also, I thought it was really cool. Hoshoryu posted a pic on Twitter after Hoshoryu won. It was Hoshoryu holding the Emperor's Cup and Hoshoryu standing in front of the TV, arms proud, like pumping his fist. And it had like a picture of a trophy emoji and then 25+1. So he has taken credit for Hoshoryu's yushos, and it looks like he's gonna lump those in with his own totals.
That still counts. That still counts as
There
mine.
you go.
Yeah,
This one's mine, boy.
And then they
That's
also
awesome.
had a interview that I saw on Twitter where Hoshoryu was on the phone with Hoshoryu talking, and like Hoshoryu was starting to kind of like break up into tears a little bit, and it was I just really like those guys' interaction, their relationship. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hokuto Fuji, we were talking about him.
Yeah.
No, he was an
Massive
absolute-
Basho.
Yeah. absolute bulldozer to start off this Basho. We talk about Hoshoryu's myriad of techniques that he was using. Hokuto Fuji, not so much. He's going to get underneath your neck. He's going to push you up. He's going to push you out. The vast majority of his wins this Basho were by Oshidashi. He got one Yorikiri in there and then a couple of like Hataki Komi slap downs. So you know what you're getting from Hokuto Fuji. He was just firing on all cylinders this Basho. He had a couple of impressive wins in there. He got the Hoshoryu victory. He was able to beat Nishikigi. I mean, his one loss that you kind of take a look at and wonder what happened was against Nishiki Fuji, who finished 5-10. But once again, it's Hokuto Fuji. He's a 31-year-old Maegashira. Of course, he's going to lose to a random Maegashira, but still
At least once, right?
At least once.
Best Basho for Hokuto Fuji since he's like started off 10-0 last year before he lost his like final 5 or 4 or something like that. So it is really nice seeing Hokuto Fuji kind of flash like this. It would be nice for him to get a yusho, like maybe if instead of he's vying against Hoshoryu and Hakuoho for the yusho, if he's like going up against Teruno Fuji, then I'm going to be pulling for Hokuto Fuji all the way. He's just like, it's amazing that Hokuto Fuji was the guy I was pulling for like third, and like the only 2 people that I would cheer for above him to win the yusho were the 2 people that he was competing for the yusho. But apparently I just like Rikshi that names start with H. Apparently that's my thing. And
Okay,
Wakas.
there you go.
Love the Wakas, love the H's.
Yeah. You love his storyline too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting on that, his win against Hoshoryu early in the Basho was his first win against him. It was,
really?
yeah, I think he is 6-1. He's 1-6 at the moment, including the playoff.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, Hokuto Fuji's always struggled against the Sanyaku level Rikshi. Like he's been Komosubi twice, and he dropped out of the Sanyaku ranks immediately following both of those Bashos. But yeah, it looks like once he gets to those mid Maegashira ranks, once a year he can pull something out of the bag and really push for something. So, like I said, he's already low 30, so we'll see how many years he's got left to have one of these amazing Basho.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't say he's washed.
His hairline is, but I was thinking about sending out a tweet if Hokuto Fuji won. Is like, is this the yusho win with the least amount of hair?
Probably.
Ouch.
If only it was him and Takara Fuji in the running together.
Yeah.
Anywho,
He must be doing the One Punch Man thing of where less
he
hair and
trains
more
so
power.
hard. Yeah.
Saitama.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anybody they want to make sure we make a note of before we move on?
No, everybody else sucks. Let's go.
Yeah.
Nah, Tobizaru doing Tobizaru
Trash.
things. A little
He did do
disappointed
some
with
Tobizaru
Buddha
things.
this time. I was like, I wanted a little bit more. I thought he could squeak out a Kachikosh, but
Mac, you didn't even watch this Basho. I'm going to defer to Yokozuna Jake and just say everybody else is garbage.
My man. Matsuke Bito.
Actually, Tobizaru did I think had a great Basho.
Yeah, 9 and
Great
6.
matches. Yeah.
Kotoeko was a lot of fun to watch too.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Kotoweko's always really fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, sorry, we forgot to mention Wakataka Kage, incredibly disappointing 0-15 performance from him.
Oh.
He will be
We know
dropping
he
down.
can do better.
He was pushing for Ozeki at one point in time. This drop off has been real shocking to see. So hopefully he can turn it around in Juryo next Basho.
Do better.
When is he slayed back from his injury?
I think
Oh.
November or January
Okay.
is my guess based on the timeline from when his injury was announced.
Okay. A couple
Unfortunately.
more Bashos then.
Couple
Probably
more,
looking at maybe Upper Makushita.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if
I
we're
think
being
he'll
optimistic.
be in. I think he'll be in Makushita. If he comes back in November, he'll be Upper Makushita. If he comes back in January, he'll be Lower Makushita. You don't drop
Okay.
out of Makushita in one Basho with an 0-7 record when you're towards the top.
Gotcha.
So let's talk about our lower divisions and the yusho winners from our lower divisions. Down in Juryo, we had Atami Fuji. This is his first Juryo yusho and his third lower division yusho. He was the big, hot, young guy before Hakuoho even debuted. He was the 19-year-old making a big
The
splash.
phenom.
Yeah, he's still only 20 years old. He's going to be making his way back up to the top division after his disastrous Makuuchi debut last November. The past two Juryo Bashos, he's gone 13-2 and 11-4, still only 20 years old. So I think Atami Fuji is going to be showing the real Atami Fuji when he's back in Makuuchi next Basho. Down in Makushita, we have Toki Hayate. This is his first career Makushita Yusho, his second lower division Yusho. He debuted in 2019.
I'm sorry, go ahead and read that. What did you type in the outline here?
I typed in, and he is 2016 years old. Fairly sure he's 26 years old.
He's really
But
hanging on long.
He is looking
Yeah.
fantastic for over two millennia.
Mm-hmm.
He was buddies with Jesus. So he will be back. He is going to be back up in Juryo for the second time in his career next Basho. In Sandanme, we had a playoff, and the winner of that playoff was Waka Ikari. This was his first career Yusho. He is 18 years old and his third career Basho. Think there's a picture on Twitter I saw, and unless the person was joking, of Waka Ikari as a kid sitting on a young Nishikigi's lap. So that's pretty cool. Jonidan Oginosho won the Yusho there. This is his first career Yusho. He's a 30-year-old Rikishi who's a career lower division Rikishi. So highlight of his career at 30 years old here. And at Jonokuchi, Anosho won the Yusho here. He's 18 years old, and this was his first career Basho. And then before we take a quick break, some sad news. If you are a patron of the Chiyo and Chiyo law firm, as one of their prestigious lawyers, Chiyo no Kuni has officially retired.
Oh no.
So
Sad day.
yep, Chiyo no Kuni was Maegashira stalwart when we first started watching. He's unfortunately suffered quite a few injuries since then. I know he dropped down to Makushita, brought our original run of the GSB belt up through the lower divisions into Juryo. He made it back up to Maegashira 3 before getting injured again and just kind of dropping off from there. So Chiyo no Kuni officially calling it a career. I think he's like 33, 34 years old. I'm not sure
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
Pour one out for another victim of the terrible design of the human knee.
33
it comes
years
for
old.
us all.
33 years old for Chiyo no Kuni. He has retired, and he is 2 months younger than me.
Oh boy.
And he's done working.
Done. No more.
I do believe he has an elder stock. He
Yep.
will be staying
nice.
on in the JSA. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. It starts with an S. It ends in
Yeah, it starts with
I
an S.
think.
That's all I got.
But yeah, Chiyo no Kuni will be staying along in the JSA. So with that, we will take a quick break.
If you enjoy the Grand Sumo Breakdown podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast listening service.
You can find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search for Grand Sumo Breakdown.
Support the show on Patreon and check out our blog, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
Also, watch us on YouTube.
All right, and Jake, bring us back with the celebration, with the good news.
All right, bust out your air horns. The GSB belt is in Juryo.
Really?
I mean, it's going to be. Technically,
okay.
I don't think the Bonsuke has been made yet. I don't know. Toki
That's
Hayate.
cool.
Makushita won East, and he won the Yusho. I'd be very surprised if they did not promote him to Juryo.
He is
So surprised.
2016 years old.
It's
So
2016. He may retire.
yeah.
Oh god. No, so the belt was on Kiryuko at the beginning of the Basho, who promptly lost it to Toki Hayate. And it was one of those nightmare scenarios that we've been seeing for like 2 years now, where Toki Hayate, Makushita won East. If he keeps the belt, he's absolutely going to Juryo. and then he just progressively faces guys lower down on the basket. So it was like this thriller of
I mean,
him
I'm
facing-
imagining your anxiety at all these guys, like, dear God, no, dear God, no.
Yeah, me, Tim Sumo, and Leonard from Tachi were watching this like a hawk and just sweating bullets as Toki Hayate faces Makushita 2, Makushita 3, Makushita 7, Makushita 16, Makushita 28, and then 54. It could have been all the way down at 54. But no, we're good. By this time, by this many matches, the first belt was on the Yokozuna. So yeah, it's been a trek, and we'll do a recap of the GSB belt now that it's finally heating back up next Basho.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get immediately dropped back down to Makushita through a Makushita Juryo matchup. But Toki Hayate himself, I think he might end up like Juryo 11 or 12, so he'll be protected for the first few days if there do need to be Juryo versus Makushita matchups. So hopefully we can just get a couple of wins, works its way to a point where it's not going to be on a Rikshi that's going to face a Makushita Rikshi.
Yep, I would definitely appreciate that.
We're not completely out of the woods yet.
But the seal's been broken though.
Third time's a charm. This is the third time we've gotten up to Juryo. Let's make it stick.
Yes, please.
All right, Yokozuna Jake. Do you have any more bragging or anything you want to discuss with the Champ Chump series? We all know why I lost. Nishikigi, an all-timer terrible chump pick.
Yep. All-timer, yeah, getting negative points on a wrestler. I don't think we've done that before. Which
and
is funny
still
because
only lost to Mac by 2 because my champ Hoshoryu was far and away the best champ to pick.
Ryan simultaneously had the best pick of the entire Basho and the worst, which averages out to last place.
Yep.
Yeah.
How we designed it.
Yep. And I had Hakuoho. Let's see. Flyric and I would have tied if he didn't get the prizes and such. But yeah, I'm glad that Hakuoho got 2 prizes because that's what set me apart. That's what got me into first place. But yeah, went pretty well. And so we've got 2 punishments to talk about real quick. First off is last Basho's punishment that Flyric has procrastinated a hair on.
Yeah.
Writing sumo erotica. But we're going to save that for the end because I know not everybody wants to listen to that.
Yep.
But that'll be at the very end for you who do like it. Like the 4 of us, except for, I guess, Flyric this time around.
At least 4 people will stick around for that one because we have to.
Kinky freaks.
You kinky freaks. Sumo punks. We know you're listening.
Sumo kaboom.
But yeah, so then the punishment for this Basho, I get to pick a song that Ryan has to rewrite and sing the lyrics for, making it about sumo.
Effectively punishing our entire listener base.
Yes,
Fact.
absolutely. So on my short list, I had Who Let the Dogs Out? That would have been a fun one.
Ooh.
1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies. There's a lot of words in that song. So that would have been like
ban.
2 weeks since the Basho started. There's potential. There's potential. Yeah. By the Bare Naked Wrestlers. Yeah. Okay. No. Maybe we do need to go on this one. Photograph by Nickelback. That was another one I was thinking about. We've joked about it in the past because the song's like 9 minutes long, but Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. Ryan really
dear
wanted to
God.
do that one. But when it comes down to it, I think the one that I want to make Ryan sing is Rollin' by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, God.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, thank God.
We talked about it a little bit ahead of time. So like Ryan,
you said that. I'm like, was this entire conversation we had beforehand just to build me up for fucking Limp Bizkit?
Yeah. No, we'll do the one that Ryan actually is interested enough in to do a good job. Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind. Please
My
write
favorite
it more
genre of music, 90s.
Yep. Please write a song that is more PG rated than that song, which
it's
is
the happiest song about meth addiction you'll ever hear.
Yeah, that song's really filthy.
Yeah,
really, really filthy. So yes, Semi-Charmed Life by the preview episode, Ryan will have a performance for us.
Do we want the radio edit or the full version? Because they like cut out an entire verse for the radio.
I would say
I'm gonna do the full version. It doesn't
Do the
matter
full.
what you say.
Do what you know is right in your heart, Tsukebito Ryan.
I will, Yokozuna Jake. I will do you proud. And
Thank
I
you.
will do it on time.
Shot at Flyric.
Blah.
All right, what do we got for our bold predictions and who's getting a T-shirt?
So we'll find out who won the T-shirt, but first we gotta get through the slog of bad predictions that we have.
This is the risk when you reply to us on Twitter.
Indeed.
Absolutely. And more than happy to put Tim Sumo in the category of bad predictions. Him predicting Wakamoto Haru defeating Terunofuji and becoming Ozeki. Shonan no Umi getting the most wins of the debutantes. And Aoyama and Takarafuji getting Makekoshi and going down to Juryo.
Tisk tisk, Tim.
Absolutely. Rod Lunsford, who is probably happier than anybody that we are putting the erotica at the end of the episode. He said that Mitake Yumi would have the best record of any former Ozeki, and Mitake Yumi had the worst record. Well,
So the best worst record?
no. If you count Terunofuji as a former Ozeki, Mitake Yumi did have a better record than him. Our friend Chris Laufer said that Hiradu Umi would get a Kachikoshi and a special prize. But Hiradu Umi went 5-9 and then went Kyujo on date. He couldn't even finish the damn Basho. And then, as always, Breeze of the Dene with the Takayasu Yusho. Just
One of these Basho, though.
Just know, Breeze of the Dene, it doesn't matter what anybody else predicts. If Takayasu wins a Yusho, you're getting a shirt.
You're getting a shirt.
Your dedication will be rewarded.
We will have matching T-shirts.
Unfortunately, you will never be getting a shirt.
Oh,
We all know
Probably
it's
true.
Takayasu did not, like, he started off 5-0, but then he did not look good in week 2.
no.
Good predictions, but not quite good enough to win. ABV said Hakuoho special prize, Ura humiliating Hokuseiho, and Hoshoryu Ozeki promotion. Teru no Umi predicted that we would have 2 Kadoban Ozeki in September, which
Not bad.
Good. B Dash by the Bay said Terunofuji and Takakeisha would both be out by day 8, and one person from Grand Sumo Breakdown will eat yummy food in Nagoya. Mac, can you confirm, was yummy food eaten in Nagoya?
Indeed, yummy food was eaten in Nagoya.
Good prediction. Good prediction.
Yeah, absolutely good prediction. Janelle Kennedy predicted that Terunofuji will not complete this Basho, and Hokuseiho would have double-digit losses. Cam Klein, this one was close. Hoshoryu 12-3 Ozeki promotion, Wakamoto Haru 9-6 record, and then Hakuoho 10-5 with the Shuken Show prize. Hakuoho had 11-4 and got the Gino Show and Kanto Show prizes.
Still, not bad.
Still, pretty close.
Yes. Jake Cullison predicted Shonan no Umi 10-5, a prize for him, and that he would beat Hakuoho. I do believe Hakuoho defeated Shonan no Umi.
Correct.
However. And then one that was super close to getting the T-shirt, Tessal 8 predicted Hoshoryu would win the Yusho and Ozeki promotion. Takakeisha would go Kyujo. Kirishima, I think this is the thing that held him back. Kirishima getting a weak Kachikoshi. Kirishima unfortunately got that Makikoshi, and he also predicted Hakuoho getting double digits and a special prize. But our T-shirt winner goes to passerby_sumo, who predicted Terunofuji would be Kyujo in week 1, Hoshoryu 12-3 record with the Yusho, and then exactly nailing the Hakuoho 11-4 record. So passerby sumo, we'll be contacting you on Twitter to get your information for the T-shirt, where we can send that to you. I think in future Bashos, we're going to try to expand it beyond Twitter or X or whatever the hell they're doing now. And probably try to post this on Instagram, YouTube, try to get a bit more people, not YouTube, sorry, that would be dumb. That's a terrible place to post it. Facebook. Try to get it in front of more people so we can get a few more predictions involved, more people able to win that T-shirt.
Yeah, maybe we should include YouTube comments for the previews.
Yeah, absolutely. For the previews, YouTube comments would be fantastic.
Yeah. Either way, though, we want to collect bold predictions because this is like the most fun to see who's nailing it, and especially to drag people who, like us, make a lot of bad takes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I did say at the end of the Natsu recap that Hakuoho would go 10-5 and get a special prize, and then I was the only one of the four of us to predict Hoshoryu would be the only Ozeki promotion this Basho. So I don't know. Maybe I could have won a T-shirt this time.
Trying to save face, I see, Ryan.
Yeah.
I
don't believe you said that at all. And there's no
stay
proof.
in your place, Ikebito Ryan.
Yeah.
You are right, Yokozuna, Jake. I will move on with the episode to the GSB Awards. Yokozuna, Jake, I believe you have a couple to hand out here.
Yes, first one. Back to the Boy Scouts with you. This is for the referee who forgot how to tie a knot. Midori Fuji versus Kirishima on day 8. That was pretty funny. I'm glad that it was less consequential than our previous Mawashi disaster. The one that Teruno Fuji and
Wakamoto Haru.
and...
There you go.
Yep,
that
Wakamoto Haru.
one kind of like put an asterisk on that match, but this one was just funny. Like the match was fine. The match progressed as normal afterwards, but like the ref could not figure it out. Needed a Yobidashi in there. And the guys were just standing there so long, they were just like,
Tired.
Hurry up, man.
There
Figure
was
it out.
another match. I don't remember who it was, but there was another match where lower down in the top division where they had to stop it and retie a belt. And
Yes.
I do think that Gyoji
Konosuke, the Gyoji Konosuke, or whoever he is, he killed it. He knew exactly what to do.
There's also the I'll do it anyway award. Shonan Naomi already lost against Kota Nowaka, but you know what? I'm gonna finish the throw. Absolutely hurled Kota Nowaka. This was day 11. I thought that one was pretty funny.
It's good practice to just get the motions in and feel it so that you know.
Practice your follow through.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame him whatsoever. We also have the David Topples Goliath Award, and that's the aforementioned Midori Fuji, the shortest and lightest Rikishi in the top division, with the picture-perfect throw on Hokuseiho, the tallest Rikishi in the top division on day 15. There is about 11-inch height difference between those two Rikishi, so it was incredible thing to see there. And then, of course, we have the match of the Basho. Our candidates this time, Teruno Fuji versus Tobizaru on day 3, both of them kicking each other's legs, Tobizaru wearing his belt like a bra, and Tobizaru ultimately defeating Teruno Fuji and sending him back home for the rest of the Basho. Day 6, Ura versus Hokuseiho. Just a fun back and forth match where Hokuseiho had his favorite behind the back grip and Ura had whatever he wanted to get on Hokuseiho. And that was enough to take Hokuseiho out. Day 13, we have Nishikigi versus Hakuoho. A great match that kind of turned into a standoff, and it was just particularly punctuated by the finishing move by Hakuoho, that tripping technique to send Nishikigi down to the ground. Great showing from Hakuoho here. And then on day 14, Hokuto Fuji versus Hakuoho. Another great standoff with Hakuoho against leader of the Basho and Hakuoho taking him down. But the winner of match of the Basho is Nishikigi versus Hakuoho. So congratulations to those two Rikishi. That is the first time either of them have been included in a match of the Basho conversation. One because it's the first time he could, and the other because what the hell happened to Nishikigi? Why is he good now?
Destroyer of worlds.
Eater of worlds, man.
Eater of worlds, excuse me.
Flyric, do you agree with that match of the Basho? Is that kind of where you were thinking?
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. There were a number of like really good ones like towards the end. I remember a couple of them that really kind of stood out, but I can't remember exactly which ones they were. But I
Kirishima
definitely
versus Midori Fuji, that one with the belt tying, that was a really good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, I definitely the leg tripping from Hakuoho one, like the way he just pulled it out, he just like lifted up his leg on and just kind of went tap like into the back of the knee and just got that win. That was just fantastic.
All right, and we've got a couple of Patreon questions that we are forced to answer based on the dollar amount that these people pay
Bloodbound.
us a
Force
month.
sounds bad. Bloodbound. Honor bound. Privileged.
Ooh, I like privileged.
Hmm.
The first one's from Giuseppe Salico. If we could have participated in the belly rubbing event that took place back in June, and
Oh.
any wrestler could have been there, which belly would you have rubbed? So a little bit of information on this. This event took place on June 11th, and the participants were Shodai, Ura, Saranaumi, Hiradaumi, and Ichi Yamamoto. So these 5 took part in a singing competition. Fans got to rub their bellies, and there was also apparently a compliment giving competition. And if you want to know more about that event and what transpired, listen to Sumo Kaboom episode 166. They go into the whole thing. So Flyric, if you could have gone to the belly rubbing event and any wrestler could have been there, whose belly are you rubbing?
It's gotta be Chiyomaru, right?
Oh, yes.
Sorry to probably take yours as well, Mac, but
No. His
that
belly is
smiling
big enough
face
for all.
and that
It's
big belly.
It is all encompassing.
You could both be rubbing his belly and not know each other was there.
Exactly.
I was gonna say,
But
like
yeah,
for me, the
it would be
no-brainer-
it would be that smile, and just kind of also just belly. That's all I want from a belly rub is like the joy on his face.
Yeah, 100%. For me, I feel like the no-brainer is Ura, because like I've seen him. I know for a fact. I've never been in his presence. I don't think I've ever even heard him speak, but I know for a fact that if you rub his belly, he's gonna go hoo-hoo, like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Like I guarantee it.
Yeah. He would also throw you to the ground shortly after.
Yeah.
That's a part of the fun.
That is less similar to the Pillsbury Doughboy, but the noise, I guarantee you, that's what happens.
You could not pay me enough money to get me to go to this event and rub
What?
somebody else's belly. Absolutely not.
Huh?
Like it could be a convention full of the most attractive women in the world. I'm not going to like go up and awkwardly rub somebody's belly. It's not happening. There's no rickshaw. Not for all the
even
Hoshoryu,
Hokuto Fuji?
Hakuohos, Hokuto Fujis in the world. I'm not. Maybe Akiseyama. Maybe Akiseyama, but you could not pay me to do
Man,
this.
I feel like attractive women would be like more intimidating than big round guys.
True, but either
Maintain
way,
eye contact. Nope, can't do it.
you could not pay me enough money to go up to a stranger and be like, "Hey, can I rub your belly?"
Sounds like an Impractical Jokers episode. Excuse me.
Yeah.
May I rub your belly?
Ryan, something's wrong with you. You're sick.
And then we had another question from one of our new...
well, Mac. Oh, Mac is the same, I guess.
Oh, no.
yeah.
It was, I joined on the Chiyomaru belly train.
We all
Like,
knew
no,
that
no,
one.
no.
We all knew that
one.
It's perfect.
That's fantastic.
So new patron, the uncomfortably named Toku's Bulgy Bits. He has proposed us. He's given us a scenario after an explosion in the popularity of sumo. The Grand Sumo Breakdown team are now making Joe Rogan money.
Oh, if only.
Which 2 active rickshaw would you wish to employ as doormen / security for your elaborate sumo related parties? So I feel like as a group, we need to come up with 2 rickshaw, agree on 2 rickshaw.
I have 2 paths. I've seen a lot of movies. I know what henchmen, like I know the general rules for henching. I feel like we either need to go down the path of 2 guys who are as different looking as possible or as similar looking as possible. What do you think? So
I
like
like
Midori Fuji and Hokuseiho.
Hokuseiho, yeah.
Like we already were
Okay.
talking about them. Biggest height difference? That'd be a good one.
Definitely.
Who would be the 2 most similar looking rickshaw that we could? I feel like Wakataka Kage and Wakamoto Haru, that's too easy of an
Kind of
answer
a
to
gimme,
rub.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going for style, I would do Abi and Aoyama just because they would push people back like it's nobody's business. And if they're against a wall, they can't go back any further. So it's just a continual assault forward.
Okay. I like that. I could get behind that.
I think another guy to toss in the mix here would be Tsurugisho.
Ooh.
He is just the biggest, most spherical thing out there right now.
mhm.
He had a couple fierce wins towards the end of the Basho. It was like, wow, Surigisho? Wow.
How'd he end up? I'm
5
looking
and
it
10.
up right now.
5 and
Yeah.
10.
Not good.
No,
Not good.
not
But
good.
yeah, but some of his wins were they were like definitive. I was impressed.
Not Ura.
Not
no,
Ura.
not
Ura.
Tobizaru.
Not scary at all.
They're too not scary.
Gonoyama.
Ooh.
Gonoyama
Gonoyama
would be a
wouldn't
good
be
pick.
bad, and if he's outside of the establishment, like we're paying him to be outside, then I never have to deal with him like inside the establishment. I don't have to ever talk to him, so that's a plus.
But I feel like a Hoshoryu glare would also deter
Ooh.
a lot of people.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, what if
Got a
we
lot of-
take a lean guy and a huge guy? So like let's say
Alright,
Hoshoryu for like the small guy. Not small, thin-ish.
Thin.
Relatively.
Sumo
lean.
Lean, thank you. That's a much
Yeah.
better word. And then who would be a good like huge guy opposite him?
Used to be Mitaki Yumi, but not anymore.
I would go with
Yudo
Hoku.
Gisho has the build.
I would go with Hokuseiho just because if he has to use his other arm, it's really over. One-handed, he can pretty much handle himself. Two
Yeah.
hands, you're done.
And in a street fight, you can use both hands, unlike a sumo fight. All right, should we go Hoshoryu and Hokuseiho?
Let's do it. There,
Well, the
maybe a
last one I was gonna
Takayasu?
throw out. He's too hurt right now, man.
He's
Ooh,
hurt.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you
What
can
about-
also like just also hug him when he's not bodyguarding. Just get like big hugs. You'd love that, right, Ryan? Asking strangers to hug him.
Absolutely not. No, the other one I was thinking of was what about Hakuoho, our new guy on the block?
Too inexperienced,
kid.
in my opinion.
The
I mean,
unit.
he probably can't even legally get into our establishment, so I think that
I would almost think Hokuto Fuji at that point, just especially when he's doing his psych up, like, oh fuck, I don't want to mess with this guy.
I
Yeah.
do like that. Yeah, he could intimidate them away. I like the technique of intimidating the way with the Hoshoryu glare and the Hokuto Fuji just beating the living crap out of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He's
like
also got-
Hoku
He's
the
also
Fuji a
got
lot.
like the patchy hair and like he just kind of like looks like he's been through the blender already.
I've
Yeah.
seen some things.
He's seen some things. Yeah. Okay, I dig
Alright.
that.
All right.
Hoshoryu, Hokuto Fuji, our playoff contenders are our
Oh yeah.
doormen
Yes.
for our elaborate sumo parties.
I appreciate the hypothetical. Toku's bulgy bits.
Toku's bulgy bits.
So yes, if you would like us to answer any of your ridiculous questions, like whose
The
belly do you want us
privilege
to
of
rub?
us answering your questions.
Yes, give
I
us
thought
the
it was our
privilege.
privilege.
Yeah, it's our privilege to answer your questions. You could sign up for our Patreon. $1 level gets you compliment every Basho. $3 level, we sign a contract. There's blood exchange, and we have to answer the question.
Okay, whose turn is it to give
Yeah.
blood? Is it mine?
You
Oh crap.
I think it's always my turn. I think is the conclusion
Oh.
we came to a while.
I'm okay
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Okay, all right then.
Ryan, not big on personal space invasion. Totally
But-
fine with giving away blood.
Want it? You can have it. I'm not using it.
And patrons, just make sure to send in a vial of your blood so we can do the exchanging.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
This
keep it in a
spells
safe
simple.
place.
The spells that bind us to having to do this and not getting away with it, we need the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Basic
part of the deal.
witchery.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Our favorite moment of the Basho. I'll go ahead and start with this one. My favorite moment was the space between days 14 and 15 and just having the conflict within myself of do I want a Hakuoho Yusho or do I want a Hoshoryu Yusho? And like how nice it was to have that, be able to have that as a conflict, to have two cool scenarios like that. Be able to come forth, either Hoshoryu, probably my favorite guy right now, winning the Yusho, getting his Ozeki promotion, or Hakuoho with what would have absolutely been a historic history setting rise to the top division and Yusho winning performance. So kind of that space between days 14 and 15, just the anticipation of it. That was my favorite time of the Basho.
You also had a moment of hope of where like maybe I could win the prediction series. Just maybe.
If they had just made Nishiki special prize conditional and then he lost on day 15, I would not have to sing Semi-Charmed Kind of Life, which has a lot of words.
Kinda is not actually in the title.
Really?
Yeah, Semi-Charmed Life.
Oh. What was that? The like that effect where Like
The
the
Mandela
Berenstain
effect?
Mandela, that one.
Yeah, where like it's in all of our collective consciousnesses, but wrong.
But
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah.
Or am I the only one who thinks it's called?
I think it's
Semi-Sharp
just
Kind?
you. My
Okay.
favorite moment of the Basho was we now have 3 Ozekis. I feel like Hoshoryu, it was by no means like the end of his story, but it was the end of this arc, you know?
Mm.
So yeah, he finally delivered on what we all knew he could do.
What about you,
Sure.
Mac? I'm sure yours is obvious. What was your favorite moment of the Basho?
Being there, actually cheering people on,
Yep.
sitting in the stadium underneath the Torikumi.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic.
That's
All
fun. Very similar to you, Jake. I would say the whole Shoryu match in general, just seeing that stare down and like, oh wow, he's bringing it. He's ready to win this all and get that promotion. And just kind of like afterwards, just kind of, like you said, Ryan, showing a little bit of softer side of himself.
Mhm.
And it's just, yeah, it's a great story. It's good stuff.
Flyric, I forgot to ask earlier, how are you doing, as you are the biggest Daisho stan that I know? How are we feeling after this?
There are
night
tens of us.
performance?
There are tons of us.
I don't know. I am off that train and I'm ready to sell my fandom. It's over. I wanted it to happen, and that's what kind of brought him to the front. I was really rooting for this guy, but time and time again, like he just can't get over that hump. He might have another try in the next couple Bashos, but it's gonna be
You
harder.
won't be supporting him that time.
Yeah, we'll see. He's moved down in my ranking, I guess I would say. Like I'm also like a huge Hoshoryu fan. Like I have a frisbee with the space on it.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, Tsukibito
That's
Ryan,
right.
as a gift.
Was that me? I think that might have been. That was my wife.
Oh, as your wife.
That was
That's
my
true.
wife.
That was.
I bet you had some
Tsukebito
suggestions.
Gabby.
Tsukibito. As the husband gets, the wife also gets the title.
Yes.
But no, I'm doing all right, I guess I would say. I was disappointed, but I'm also really happy because I love Hoshoryu. So let's go.
All right. So that is going to wrap up our coverage of the Nagoya Basho. But there's a lot of Grand Sumo Breakdown that's going to be coming up, especially around September 10th. That is going to be the beginning of the Aki Basho, and that is going to be the start of year 7 of Grand Sumo Breakdown. Really hard to
Wow.
believe that
Wow.
this wraps up 6 years of us covering Bashos.
Our podcast
That's
is old enough to
insane.
drive.
We have covered 35 real Basho and
In
put on
Terunofuji
one
ni
fake
years.
Basho.
Yes.
Terunofuji ni years. Yes, we're ready to
Yes.
retire.
We have seen Terunofuji fall, rise, and almost fall again, it seems. So what to look forward to from Grand Sumo Breakdown before the next Basho starts? We're going to have another trading card unboxing episode. Mac, whenever you are recovered from your jet lag and you're ready to go, I have ordered the cards and we'll be ready to go. We are going to be opening up some cards from 2019 Series 2. Those are the oldest cards that I could get a full box of. So that's what we're going to be going back in the time machine in these Bashos where they're not releasing a new set of cards.
Right on.
2019 Series 2 is where we're going this next Basho. Mac, we're going to have to get together, all of us, and discuss your adventures in Japan.
Yes.
Need to know a lot more about. You guys were sharing a lot of pictures and stuff with us in the group. Looked like you had an amazing time. We need to know more about that.
Happy to.
The Aki Bansuke prediction. It's not going to be coming out next week. It's going to be coming out 1 week prior to the Bansuke release. Gotta let all the entries for the Guess the Bansuke game finish before I'm giving out the cheat sheet that everybody
The real answers.
The real answers, that's right. And Jake, you had mentioned got a few amateur sumo episodes that are coming down the pipeline.
Yep, I did an interview with Corey Morrison and Edibo Kunyeha about the Cowboy Cup. Due to some technical issues, that one has been in the chamber for a while, but I will be fixing it up and releasing that soon. We're hoping maybe we can do some talk about Iowa Sumo Club, and certainly in the next 2 weeks or so, we'll be doing some coverage of the Harvest Days Sumo Open. That first or second week of August will also be our next newsletter release, which we will be selling hard copies of. If you are a fan of the American Sumo newsletter, you can check it out on our website, of course, download the PDFs and whatnot. But we decided it's cool enough and we put in enough time that we should get hard copies printed out. If you want one, just let us know. We're happy to print old episodes and such if you want those too. But we're just looking to sell them to raise $1 or $2 for the podcast fund, and a lot of stuff that's in there. You know, it's good souvenirs, and there's not a ton of like amateur sumo keepsakes out there. So that's kind of why we wanted to do this. We're not doing it in like big batches or anything. We're just gonna print them to order, so it's not a big operation. But we definitely want to get these to people who are interested.
Have we settled on a final price for that?
Yeah, $10. $10 for an issue will cover a 16-page full color high quality printing. And that includes the shipping.
All right. So this is your final warning for everybody who is not a fan of sumo erotica.
Yeah.
We are all done with our non kinky freak stuff. So you can go ahead and sign off. And Flyric, take it away with the sumo erotica.
All right. I'll let you know, former Yokozuna Mac, that you're as this being an actual intended as a punishment, it was super effective. Because getting motivation to our muse for any kind of spark of the story proved to be terribly, terribly hard. Especially like I talked about during the preview, the enigma that is Kotoeko.
Yes.
But
yes, indeed.
I powered through, and luckily, with some more motivation, I was able to find one spark that was able to get something happening. But
Now,
dear God,
fanned it into a burning flame.
Yeah, but dear God, this was a slog, and it's and fair warning, towards the end of it, it might just kind of wrap up quickly,
devolve into nonsense.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It needs another editorial pass, but it's
but it's not gonna get one.
It's not gonna get one. This needs to be over. I am done suffering from this as a Sukebito. We have moved on, and let's just get away with it. Let's go. All right. The sun rose in a quiet morning in Japan, shining into a room where a rotund Tobizaru soundly slept. A type of morning Tobizaru found very common, except today was far from common, because today was Daigekko Day, where not only the finest sumo athletes were attend, but also the finest butts to grace the land as well. Sumo has a history of attracting colorful personalities, and the spider monkey was no exception. While his brother was into babes in sumo, Tobizaru was all about sumo and those finely curvaceous derrieres. In the quiet morning, the sound of the song "Baby Got Back" from Tobizaru's cell phone filled the room, waking him with a smile. Tobizaru leaped from his futon and got ready for the day in a flash and with a look of determination. Today wasn't just a day to visually snack on somebody's shapely nectarines. No, today he was going to go for the juiciest peach of them all, Takara Fuji, and ask him out for a date. Being a big fan, Tobizaru continued counting down the days for the Barbie movie, and he can think of nothing more than to watch it with the choicest rump of Takara Fuji. Tobizaru rushed to practice, wearing nothing but his lucky purple mawashi and 2 Barbie tickets, and hoping to get a good butt workout in before Shiko. Hopefully, happy thoughts of scrumptious fruit filled his head as he walked through the door, but they were quickly dashed as he realized he wasn't the first one there. No, waiting for him in the front hallway were none other than Ura and Kotoeko, also clad in their pink mawashis, and suspiciously, they also had 2 pieces of paper clutched in their hands that looked suspiciously like movie tickets. Silence hung in the air as they all quickly hid their tickets behind their back, unsure exactly what was going on, until moments later, the Takara Fuji also arrived and strutting past whistling a tune. As he passed by, I couldn't help but check out his beautiful bum out of the corner of my eye, and realizing at the same time, so were Ura and Kotoeko also checking him out.
I noticed this
Realization
got first
dawned-
person all of a sudden.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Realization dawned on us, and we started eyeing each other suspiciously, and later quickly dashed towards Takarafuji with our requests. Kotoeko got there first and said, "Takarafuji senpai, my oyakata says my squat needs improvement. Could you give me some tips after practice? And maybe could we get some coffee later as repayment and maybe a movie, please?" Ura was next to get there, and he says, "His butt's a lost cause. Give my ass a workout. And then maybe we could ride a tandem bicycle on our way to the movie or something."
We're so forward.
Wow.
Tobizaru, last to get there, and afraid that his chance was going to be missed, just flustered, he blurted out, "I like your ass, senpai. Want to go see Barbie?" Takarafuji was understandably a bit off guard, but after Tobizaru's blunt explanation, he realized what was going on, and he had a smile on his face. He said, "I'd love to, but I ain't going on a date with no weak-ass dump trucks. Show me what you got at practice. Best ass wins." And thus, the game was on. The practice started. The Shiko was going on. After hundreds and hundreds of Shiko, I imagine they do each day, they started doing that butt squat thing that Jake had us do,
Koshiwari.
which is called
The Koshiwari.
the Koshiwari. Thank you, Mac. They started doing those over again. They only had to do about 500 of those, but towards the end of it, it was obviously not over for 3 of them. Tobizaru, Kotoeko, and Ura were both determined to be the last one doing squatting.
Koshiwari.
Koshiwari. It goes on and on, minutes, sweat, and people were just watching it. But towards the end, they started dropping off. Kotoeko was first, and then slowly later Ura, with Tobizaru getting the most at the end, with the most and most enduring butt, literally of them all.
Oh, no.
It was a sight to behold, but but it was not over yet. They did many very sweaty matches afterwards, and they were quite sore towards the end of it. And they were kind of had a couple minutes to rest. And Kotoeko came up and said, "Hey, Takarafuji, have you seen these massage guns at all?" And as he pulled out the gun that has like a little moving massage piece that can massage your muscles that are all the rage now. And he proceeds to run over his leg, but slowly goes up the thigh and ends upon his butt. And like an ocean waves on a beach, so were the ripples of Kotoeko's bongos in the face of Takarafuji. Takarafuji noticed this, and he just kind of gave an eye, but like a slight nod of approval. Like, yes, this is good.
I see you, but okay.
Practice continued, and they moved on to the Butsugari of doing a bunch of that pushing stuff a lot. And everyone was working up quite the sweat, especially Takarafuji. Ura, not wanting to lose so far, noticing that Tobizaru and Kotoeko all got points, he said, "Oh, let me get you a fresh towel out of the dryer, Kotoeko." And he proceeds to reach into the tower. Let me get you a fresh towel from the dryer, Kotoeko. And he proceeds to reach into the dryer, but then somehow gets stuck. And he yells, "Oh no, senpai! I'm stuck. Please help."
Oh no!
Tobizaru, seeing this as shameless, he could not let it stand. So he quickly got to the back and did a rear lift off and Okuri Suridashi'd him out in flash. And Uro was disappointed, but also knowing that Takarafuji got a look at his scrumptious bums, knew he was going to be okay. And suddenly the practice was over. And so was Keiko. And nervously, not knowing how they did, Ura, Tobizaru, and Kotoeko walked up to Takarafuji, who was cracking open walnuts with his butt cheeks. He said, "This was very good. Here, have some walnuts, and let me describe what I saw." He said, "Tobizaru, you showed a strong ass with your unyielding butt squat thingy. It was very impressive. You showed that strong ass is very important quality for an ass. Kotoeko, you showed a relaxed ass with your commitment to recovery and massage therapy. And Ura, you showed a creative ass. with that weird dryer thing. It was very strange. And none of you did some weird gyrating at the Tachi-ai, so that's very good. That's a big no-no.
No Ryuden for you.
Yeah, not like the Ryuden fellow. So they're all very impressed with the compliments, but they were like, who's the winner? They were kind of saying, was it me? Was my butt the best? And after that, with a twinkle in his eye, he turned around and says, look at this rump. Do you think you could handle this rump alone? And then you're all going, hit the shower, boys. Let's go see a Barbie movie. And there were smiles around and a couple butt slaps and some jiggly butts, and fade to black as they all walked off, knowing they had a really fun date to look forward to.
I could tell the instant we went from script to bullet points, and that is
Yep.
when it really took off.
Yes. Outstanding. Well done, Flyric. Well done.
I'm glad.
And the butt synonyms, oh my
Yes.
god.
They were, yeah, I had a list, and I'd start throwing them in there. It was a good fun time.
I love you so much, Flyric.
What a
Bongos
wonderful...
almost killed me.
Bongo.
That was the best. That was my favorite. Like the waves in the ocean. So were Kotoeko's
I wasn't expecting
bongos.
like bongos just came out of nowhere in that like it's a nice like metaphor that we're setting up and then just bongos.
Bongos.
Funny enough, my wife and I have tickets to go see the Barbie movie on Friday. We're very excited.
Oh, very nice.
So the moment where I got the inspiration was like, what is connecting all these guys? I know like Ura, Kotoeko, and who's the other guy? Tobizaru. They were all like 31, but I just could not find the thing that connected them until I realized, oh, two of them have like pink mawashis and the other one's kind of like a purple. That's kind of Barbie, right? And thus a story was born.
Jesus Christ.
I
Okay.
approve. Well
Can
done.
we end it so I can go to bed?
I like to sleep.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
If you're listening to this episode, wherever you are, whenever you are, you have permission to lay down and go to sleep now.
Bongos.
Thank you.
Bongos.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time.
Throw your salt high.
And keep moving forward.